happy to be here to talk to you all. Like Mr. Dunning said, we are with Encore. I'm on their communications team, and JR and Chris, they're out in the field, and they're the ones that are helping to keep the lights on across Dallas in your homes, keeping you all snugly at night in your homes with electricity. So we appreciate everything they do, and we also have Amy with us. She's one of our engineers, and we're proud of her as well. You know, she's doing big things for the company, and they're all here to tell you their story. So let's start it out with Chris. Let's give a hand for Chris.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Well, first of all, I'd like to tell you a little bit about what Encore does. And basically what Encore does is we go out into your neighborhoods every day to make sure that we bring electricity to your homes, to your schools, to your churches, and everywhere that you go. Electricity powers almost everything that we use. Anything that you plug in is powered by electricity. Now, what my job title is called the Distribution Operating Technician. And that sounds really fancy, but actually it's not. What I do is I go out and I do preventative maintenance. And what that is I ride around and I look at things and I see if something can possibly cause a problem with you guys' electricity in the near future, and I see what I can do to get that fixed. And I'll give you a little background about myself. Once I graduated high school, I went to the Marine Corps. After I got out of the Marine Corps, I immediately came to Encore. I started at Encore when I was 20 years old. I'm now 33, so I've been there 13 years. I started out reading meters, and then progressively through that, I moved up to a different job, which is what I do now. I didn't always see myself wanting to be a lineman, which is basically what I am. I wanted to be a doctor when I was young. And so what I did was I studied math, science, everything that I was taught in school, but it didn't end up working out that way, which is okay because I still use all those same skills in my job today. So what I'll do is I'll let JR take over and tell you a little bit about himself.
My name is Alberto Ramirez, but I go by JR, you know, just 'cause a lot of people can't say Alberto. But I grew up in a little bitty town in Cleveland, Texas. Does anybody know where that's at? By any chance, raise their hands. Nobody? There you go, got one. That's probably maybe about an hour south of here. But I pretty much grew up there, graduated high school in '99. Then I went to college for about almost 2 years. Got an associate's in fire science, and then I got hired on as a meter reader, kind of like the same way Chris does, and I slowly started progressing, and I am where I am today. So me and Chris have the same title. I cover the Grand Prairie area, anywhere from just a little bit north of 30 to south of 20. So I mean, I cover a big wide area. So that's pretty much all I have. Amy?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Amy Liu, and I'm an electrical engineer at Encore. Who knows what that is? Okay, we have a few. Okay. Who has brothers and sisters in here? Yeah? All right. I come from a large family. I have 15 brothers and sisters. Yeah. I'm the second to the youngest one. There's 16 of us total. Yeah, she's up there counting her fingers. So my parents are Hispanic, and I come from a very small town where Dairy Queen is a big thing. That's where everybody liked to hang out, was Dairy Queen. We only had one stoplight in the entire town. So I come from a really small town in South Texas, and I moved up here and I started working, and I did really good. I got a certification. I was a personal trainer. Y'all like to exercise? Y'all like gym? Yeah? Okay, good. So I did that for a few years as I put myself through school, and I studied to be an electrical engineer. Does anybody know what skills it takes to be an electrical engineer? What subject? Yes, sir.
Science.
Science? Yes. What other one?
Math.
Math, yeah. What else? Anything else? No? Well, you have to be good at everything to be an electrical engineer, especially science and math, yes. But we also have to learn how to communicate. So reading and writing is really important because you have to write reports. You have to be able to read reports and understand problems and solve them. So that is what I do. Particularly, does anybody understand how power is made, where it starts from? Yeah, there's usually plants. Some of them are coal, some of them are wind, and it's called a generation. So these big plants make the energy, and Encore grabs that energy and we transport them all the way to your home. Okay? And that's what these guys do. They make sure that those lines are working good, so like that you guys can get electricity. What I do is I design and I take a look at a new customer, particularly in downtown Dallas or downtown Fort Worth. Those big buildings, they want power. And so what I do is I design how we're gonna get the power from our grid under the ground to those buildings, okay? So I have to make calculations, I have to use tools, and I have to think scientifically to understand how we're gonna get that. I've been at Encore for 7 years, and while I've been at Encore, I've also been still going to school, and I'm getting my MBA, which is my master's in business in May. This May I'll graduate. So Encore has a reimbursement plan, and they are paying for me to go to school. So I've been there for 7 years, and I expect there to continue.
Our wires come overhead, and then this particular building here is fed what you call underground primary. Our wires come into that pole, and then there's a green box out here, or what we call a pad mount transformer, that our wires come in under the ground and then come into this building. And then from this building, it's almost the same grid that we have out there, where you have what you guys call a breaker box, and then it distributes out towards this building. So does that pretty much answer your question? Yeah. It's almost like your house. Your house at home is the same thing. You have a transformer either on the ground or overhead. Our wires come into your house, and then throughout the walls and your outlets is how you receive power.
So basically what JR has done is he's brought a few things to show you guys, since y'all are working on conductors and insulators and science. So we have right here a few different sizes of the wire we use. We also have a few different kinds of metals. So I'll go down the list and kind of explain to you what this is. So we'll start up here with copper wire. This is one of our smallest copper wires that we use. All of these wires can transmit electricity to your homes and to your schools and businesses. And based on how much electricity you need is going to determine what size wire and what type of wire we use. Copper, aluminum, gold, almost any metal can conduct electricity, but the two types that we use are actually aluminum and copper. So right here at the top we have 3 copper wires. All of the grayish silver looking wires, these are all aluminum. And then down here we have some more copper wires. And so out of all of these, our best conductor is going to be this right here, because copper is a better conductor than aluminum.
Our biggest wire there is what we call a 795 ACSR. I think the biggest one that Amy deals with a lot, with her being an engineer and going to the big businesses, is what we call a million-sized wire. And that's a wire probably about that big around, literally. And that supplies the big downtown buildings, supplies, AT&T Stadium, supplies, you name it, you get big businesses, we're going with bigger wire. Our safety is the most important thing before anything. My safety, Amy's safety, Chris's safety. And what we do, what we do as a company is the company provides us what we call personal protective equipment, PPE. And I'll get my rubber gloves and show you on all these wires. They are energized up to 7,200 volts. And for us to work on them properly and safely, we have our rubber equipment. And I'll show you that now.
Okay, let me get another volunteer. Okay, you right there. All right. So what JR is going to show you is some of our equipment that we use to kind of protect ourselves. Before we leave, every year we like to throw a little safety in there and tell you guys some things to keep you safe. So what we have here is JR's hard hat. Now this this is worn on every job site by him to protect him from anything that may fall on his head. It's also rated, it's got an electrical rating on this, so if he's working on some wires and for some reason they happen to touch his hard hat, it will insulate him and keep him safe from being shot.
Put this on there, bud.
Now what JR has here is our rubber gloves. Our rubber gloves are so that JR can work on electricity without getting hurt. He can go up and he can grab live wires without actually being hurt, as long as these rubber gloves don't have any holes or anything like that, and he's wearing them properly.
I know we talked about science, right? Well, these here have been scientifically tested to withhold 17,000 volts. So that's where science comes into effect in our job. The clothes that I wear, these here are what they call fire retardant. These have been scientifically tested to where if for any reason there's a flash, it will not stick to my skin. So that's where science comes into effect. We have departments, we have our safety department that, you know, that tests this stuff. I mean, they're doing it almost on a daily basis. You know, I'm sure a year from now we'll be wearing something different that's better than what we're wearing now. But this is all we're talking about is for accidental contact only. We're trained, you know, through a 4 or 5 year program to where they will not let us handle live wires or anything like that, just like you guys. You know, you guys not going to go to 6th grade. You know, you guys not going to go to 6th grade, you know, if you're not doing right. Am I correct pretty much? You know, you're not going to pass. So same thing here. Our job is we work on electrical power lines. They're not going to let us go out there and handle live wires without them knowing that we can handle our job in a safely manner. So these are what we call our rubber sleeves. Anytime, pretty much when I'm wearing those, almost 80% of the time I'm wearing these. And these here go on me if it's 110 degrees outside or if it's 2 below zero. I'm wearing these at all times. And these here are rated almost the same as those, a little bit higher than 20,000 volts. But again, these have been scientifically tested, you know, to withstand that voltage. So, and keep in mind, I mean, there's other equipment that we wear. You know, I wish we were lucky enough to where everything was where we were able to get one of our bucket trucks to. What I mean by bucket trucks is, who's seen those big old white, long buckets? Okay, I just wish we could get to all our poles using that thing, but apparently there's not. Unfortunately, there's not. What we do is we have our climbing tools, and Chris has his bag, and these tools, these tools help us climb up, you know, climb in a safely manner to climb up the poles and handle our wires on top of the pole. That's just a little bit of idea. I mean, keep in mind that you have, you know, all this clothes that I have on now, the rubber boots that we have, and then the climbing boot belts that Chris has. You know, that's an extra 45 pounds on you, and then we'll climb up the pole, and then in a safety manner get the lights back on for the customer. So again, you know, imagine 110 degrees. I think it's been like 100. It adds about 10 to 15 degrees hotter than what it is outside. So if it's 95 here, you know, outside, then it's about 105, 115. So out of all the jobs I could have had, why did I pick this one? Well, honestly, I think it picked me because, you know, I wanted to do better, to better myself in this company. And this company will let you the sky's the limit here at Encore. They will put you through school, you know, kind of like Amy Lou. They will teach you the things that I know internally, you know, with the guys that I've been working with for 3 years now. But this is not where I want to stop. You know, I want to keep going. I kind of want to be what like Amy does. I want to be a manager, you know, in the distribution side. So, and the sky's the limit. The only person that can stop me from doing that is me.
If you're walking home from school and you see a tree on the line, don't get near it, okay? You call 911. If you don't know who your electric person is, and you tell someone, okay? Don't ever touch it, because you don't know if it's live, if it can hurt you, okay? So those are the kind of issues that we've had at Encore, is weather related, or if someone knocks over a pole, that can also affect how much electricity you get at home. Now, in the downtown areas, on the system that I work at, are very specialized. We we build in redundancy, which means it's make sure the lights don't go out, okay? So the guys here, they work on the overhead stuff and some of the underground, but we'll even have a specialized crew like these guys to work on the systems that I design.
Yes, unfortunately, we still climb poles. We do have bucket trucks, but we can't always get a bucket truck to something. And so when we can't get a bucket truck to something, what we have to do is we climb. And so what I brought here is some of my tools, and I know you probably saw the tools that I put on him. It's a belt, and we put that belt on around our waist, and there's another belt that actually goes around the pole, and that helps us to stay up. Now what we do is we put these spikes here on our feet or on our boots, and we dig those spikes into the pole and we climb. It is a very dangerous job, but we have enough equipment to make it safe for us. And it's not always easy. Yeah, sometimes it is hard, but you know it's.
Yeah, I didn't come out, or Chris and I did not, wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm gonna climb a pole. You know, they trained us. You know, this, like I said before, this company will train you to however much you want to, how much you're willing to learn. And that's how me and Chris did. We decided we wanted to be on a crew, and they sent us to school. They taught us everything that we know now, plus more. So, we studied, we practiced it, and that's how we got where we're at today. So, any more questions?
They also paid you, right, while you were going to school, right?
Yes.
Yes, they did pay us to go to school. Like I said, when I was in high school, I always wanted to be a doctor, and I thought that's what I was going to do when I graduated high school. So I took, like I said, math, science, computers, all those different things to try to be a doctor. Well, that didn't work out, and I didn't end up going to college. And so I came here at Encore with just my high school diploma. And to learn all the things that Encore wants you to be able to do, they will actually put you through school, and they will pay you while you're going to school to do those things. They teach you everything they want you to know and everything you need to know to do your job correctly and safely. Any more questions?
Yeah, Encore has like a little bitty school, that they send you almost every 6 months. And even today, me and Chris, and I'm sure Amy, they have classes on new equipment that electricity company comes out with, and they send us to those schools. So it doesn't just stop once we learn how to climb poles. It keeps going, and like I said before, the sky's the limit.
And I'd like to encourage all of you talk to your counselors here at your schools and figure out what kind of programs are available for you, because that's what I did in high school. I got involved, and I did student council, and I did those kinds of things that open doors and give you opportunities to meet people and kind of understand what other people do with their lives. Because you really don't know what an engineer does until you are an engineer. So if you're curious about it, ask people.
Well, specifically where I'm working right now, you don't have to go to college. I didn't go to college. Encore taught me everything that I needed to know to do my job. They trained me, and so I didn't have to go to college. And I was fortunate enough that while they were training me, they did pay me, so that allowed me to go through that training without having to worry about where I was going to get money from to live.
As an engineer, you need a 4-year degree, which in electrical engineering. Typically, that's a 4-year degree, but because I worked part-time to put myself through school, it took me about 9 years to get my degree.
In fact, I was going through school when I was reading meters for Encore. I put myself through the fire academy, and I went through all that, and then at the same time I was getting promoted in the company. And then I later found out that at the time we're part of Luminant, which was Comanche Peak at one time. They're in Glen Rose, and they have a fire department, and they had a fire protection technician opening, and I went and I interviewed for it. So I was going in the same field. I knew that okay, I went to school for this, I want to do this, and that's what I ended up going, trying to apply for that, and unfortunately I didn't get it. But at the same time, I kept on seeing more doors open. Okay, I want, the crew. Okay, I went to the crew, and then DOT, then there. So. Where would I be? I think I am where I need to be, and there's going to be more doors open where I'm at right now because of where I put myself today.
If I want to move into management, I went to school. I'll be done in May, and I will be in management. So I'm doing what I want to do because you have to have the initiative. You have to put the hard work in, you know, and you have to stay focused on school. Surround yourself with good people that won't get you in trouble, that have the same values that you do, that want the same kind of things that you want. So for me, I am doing what I'm doing, so.